Hey there, welcome to Blue Team Resources. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. Today, we are diving into a critical topic, the Phishing Incident Response Playbook. But before we get into it, let's understand what phishing is. Phishing is a form of cybercrime where individuals are targeted by email, phone, or text message by someone posing as a legitimate institution to lure individuals into providing sensitive data. This data can include personally identifiable information, banking and credit card details, and passwords. The repercussions of falling victim to such an attack can be devastating, leading to financial losses, data breaches, and significant damage to a company's reputation. That is why having a robust phishing incident response plan is crucial. It helps organizations quickly react to threats, minimizing potential damage and recovery time. In today's virtual landscape, dealing with a phishing incident can often feel like navigating through a maze without a map. It's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed. That's where we come in. In this insightful tutorial, we'll help you make sense of the chaos and guide you through a robust and efficient phishing incident response playbook. Say goodbye to confusion and move towards confident decision making with our interactive walkthrough. Let's delve into the details. Don't forget to navigate through every step to ensure a comprehensive understanding of how to handle such incidents effectively. Whether you're a seasoned SOC analyst or a newbie in the cybersecurity field, this guide will equip you with the knowledge you need to effectively respond to phishing incidents. So, let's get started. Let's start by discussing the different types of phishing attacks. Firstly, we have email phishing. This is the most common type, where the attacker sends fraudulent emails, impersonating a trusted entity, to trick recipients into revealing their personal information or clicking on malicious links. For example, you might receive an email that looks like it's from your bank, asking you to log in and verify your account details. But when you click on the link, it leads to a fake website where your credentials are captured. Next is spear phishing. Unlike regular email phishing, spear phishing is highly targeted. The attacker researches the victim and customizes the email to increase the chances of success. Imagine receiving an email from what appears to be your boss asking you to share sensitive company data. The email might reference a recent project you're working on, making it seem more legitimate. Then we have smishing or SMS phishing. Here, the attacker sends fraudulent text messages using the same tactics as email phishing but through SMS. For instance, you might receive a text message claiming you won a prize and need to click a link to claim it. Of course, that link leads to a fake website designed to steal your personal information. Lastly, phishing or voice phishing involves the attacker calling the victim and pretending to be from a trusted organization, trying to trick the victim into providing sensitive information. For example, you might get a call from someone claiming to be tech support and asking for your login details to solve a non-existent problem. These are just a few examples of the most common types of phishing attacks. By understanding these, you can better prepare your phishing incident response plan. We've journeyed through the murky waters of phishing attacks, understanding their types and mechanisms. Now, it's time to arm ourselves with the right defensive strategy. Let's dive into the world of the phishing incident response playbook. The purpose of a phishing incident response playbook is simple yet crucial. It's a step-by-step guide designed to help your organization respond swiftly and effectively when a phishing attack occurs. Just as a football team uses a playbook to understand their opponent's tactics, we use this playbook to understand and counteract phishing attacks. Without a playbook, organizations can easily fall into chaos during an attack. But with a playbook, we can reduce response time, limit damage, and learn from each incident to strengthen our defenses for the future. An effective playbook must have several key components. First, it should define roles and responsibilities. Who does what when an attack occurs? This clarity helps to ensure a rapid and coordinated response. Next, the playbook should outline the process for identifying and verifying phishing attacks. This is crucial in avoiding false positives and ensuring real threats are promptly addressed. Thirdly, it should provide a comprehensive plan for containment and eradication of the threat. This includes steps to isolate affected systems, remove malicious content, and restore services. Lastly, the playbook should include a post-incident review process. Here, we analyze what went wrong and how we can improve. A well-structured phishing incident response playbook can be the difference between a minor hiccup and a major catastrophe. In the world of cybersecurity, preparation is not just the key, it's the lock, the door, and the entire building. Let's begin our journey through the phishing incident response playbook. Phase 1. Preparation. Firstly, it's vital to determine the teams and roles involved in the incident response process. Clearly defined roles and responsibilities provide structure, reduce confusion, and ensure a swift and effective response. Three critical teams are generally involved: the incident response team, who coordinate the entire process, the IT team, who ensure the technical aspects are covered, and the Security Operations Center or SOC team, who monitor and analyze activity on networks, servers, endpoints, databases, applications, websites, and other systems, looking for anomalous activity that could be indicative of a security incident or compromise. Now that our teams are in place and fully prepared, we're ready to pass the baton to phase 2, detection. Phase 2, detection. Detection is a crucial step in the phishing incident response process. It's where we actively look for any signs of phishing attempts. The first step in the detection phase is to configure our Security Information and Event Management System, or SIEM, by creating phishing alerts. These alerts will notify us of potential phishing activities. Once an alert is triggered, it's time for our Security Operations Center, or SOC team, to step up. They perform the initial triage, determining the severity and credibility of the alert. If the alert is credible, our SOC team escalates to the Incident Response Team, or IRT. They take the lead from here, managing the potential phishing incident. With the detection phase completed, it's time to delve deeper and uncover the facts. We transition to the next phase, Phase 3, Investigation and Analysis. Phase 3, Investigation and Analysis. Email analysis. The IRT analyzes the suspected phishing email, including sender information, content, and any attachments or embedded links. Step 1, examine the email header. Analyze the email header to gather information about the sender, recipient, and email path. Look for discrepancies in the sender's address and domain, as well as any unusual routing information. Step 2, inspect the email content. Scrutinize the email body for indicators of phishing, such as sense of urgency, grammatical errors, or requests for sensitive data. Pay attention to the tone and language used, and compare it to the sender's usual communication style. Step 3, investigate the URL and attachments. If the email contains links or attachments, analyze them for potential malicious content. Check the URL for inconsistencies or redirections, and scan attachments for malicious payloads using antivirus software. Step 4, identify the attack type and primary indicators. Determine the phishing attack type, for example, spear phishing or whaling, based on the target and content. Identify primary indicators, such as email addresses, attachments, or URLs that can help in tracing the source of the attack. Step 5, assess the distribution method and timeline. Determine how the phishing email was distributed, for example, mass email or targeted campaign, and establish a timeline of the attack, including when the email was sent, opened, and any subsequent actions taken by the recipient. Step 6, check for indicators of compromise. Search for IOCs, such as unauthorized access or data exfiltration, in the affected systems. Review logs and alerts generated by security tools like SIEM to identify any suspicious activity related to the phishing email. Step 7, correlate the findings with threat intelligence. Compare the information gathered during the investigation with available threat intelligence to identify any known threat actors or campaigns. This can help in understanding the attacker's motives, techniques, and potential next steps. Step 8, document the findings. Create a detailed report of the investigation, including the steps taken, evidence collected, and conclusions drawn. This report will be used in the subsequent phases of the incident response process and can serve as a valuable reference for future incidents. Now that we've completed our investigation and analysis, it's time to move on to the next phase. Phase 4, Containment and Eradication. This phase is all about taking decisive action to minimize the impact of the phishing attack. The first step is to delete the phishing emails. We do this using the email gateway. By doing so, we're preventing these malicious emails from reaching more unsuspecting victims within our organization. Next, we'll need to isolate the affected systems if necessary. We can do this using Endpoint Detection and Response, or EDR. This will help us prevent the spread of the phishing attack to other systems in our network. Once we've isolated the affected systems, we'll need to block indicators of compromise, or IOCs, on the firewall and web proxy. This is an essential step in stopping the attacker from gaining further access to our network. Now that we have contained the attack, it's time to eradicate any remaining traces. To do this, we perform password resets. This step ensures that if any account credentials were compromised, they can no longer be used by the attacker. With the containment and eradication phase complete, we can now transition to the next phase, which is recovery. In this phase, we'll focus on restoring our systems and getting back to business as usual. Phase 5, Recovery. Recovery is all about restoring systems to their normal function and monitoring the network to ensure its security. System restoration is the process of bringing affected systems and networks back to their fully operational state. This could involve reinstalling system components, updating software, or even replacing entire systems if necessary. The goal is to restore everything to its pre-incident state, ensuring your operations can continue smoothly. Post-restoration, it's crucial to closely monitor your network. Look for signs of abnormal activity that might suggest the threat is still present. Implement advanced threat detection tools and stay vigilant. The road to recovery is paved with continuous vigilance and monitoring. Once you've successfully restored and secured your systems, it's time to move on to the final and perhaps most important phase of the incident response process. Phase 6, Lessons Learned. In this phase, we focus on reflection and learning from the incident. Firstly, we conduct an incident debrief. Here, all involved teams come together to discuss the incident in detail. We analyze what went well, what didn't, and areas for improvement. Next comes reporting. A comprehensive report is prepared, detailing everything about the incident, what happened, how it happened, the response steps taken, the impact, the costs, and the corrective measures implemented. Finally, we move on to awareness and training. The learnings from the incident are used to enhance the awareness of the entire organization. We conduct training sessions to boost the ability of the staff to identify and respond to similar threats in the future. With these lessons under our belt, we're better prepared to face future threats. Now, let's see how all these phases come to life in a real-world example. Let's delve into a practical application of a phishing incident response playbook. In this real-world example, let's consider a phishing email targeting employees of a large financial institution. The phishing email appears to come from their department, asking employees to update their login credentials on a newly implemented security portal. Step 1. Examine the email header. Upon analyzing the email header, the IRT discovers that the sender's address is at support@financialsolutions.com, which is suspiciously different from the legitimate domain financialinstitution.com. Step 2. Inspect the email content. The email content contains a sense of urgency, stating that employees need to update their credentials within 24 hours to avoid account suspension. Additionally, there are minor grammatical errors and inconsistencies in the email signature. Step 3. Investigate the URL and attachments. The email contains a URL directing employees to the supposed security portal. Upon analysis, the IRT discovers that the URL redirects to a malicious website designed to harvest credentials. No attachments are found in the email. Step 4. Identify the attack type and primary indicators. This phishing attack appears to be a spear phishing campaign targeting employees of the financial institution. Primary indicators include the email address and the URL used for credential harvesting. Step 5. Assess the distribution method and timeline. The IRT determines that the phishing email was sent to a specific group of employees in the finance department, indicating a targeted campaign. The timeline shows that the emails were sent during regular business hours, aiming to blend in with legitimate communication. Step 6. Check for indicators of compromise. The IRT reviews logs and alerts generated by the SIEM tool and identifies multiple instances of unauthorized access attempts to the financial institution's network using credentials stolen through the phishing campaign. Step 7. Correlate the findings with threat intelligence. Upon comparing the findings with available threat intelligence, the IRT identifies a known threat actor group that has targeted similar institutions in the past. This information helps the IRT understand the attacker's motives, techniques, and potential next steps. Step 8. Document the findings. The IRT compiles a comprehensive report detailing the investigation, including the steps taken, evidence collected, and conclusions drawn. This report will be used in the subsequent phases of the incident response process and can serve as a valuable reference for addressing future incidents. Customizing your phishing incident response playbook. No two organizations are alike. They differ in size, industry, resources, and many other factors. This is why it's essential to customize your phishing incident response playbook to fit your unique needs. With customization, you can optimize your response efficiency and effectiveness. The need for playbook customization. Let's consider a large multinational corporation and a small startup. The former likely encounters a wider variety of threats, given its diverse functions and broad geographic presence. The latter might face more localized threats, but with limited resources to counter them. Similarly, a financial institution has different cybersecurity concerns than a manufacturing company. Tips on tailoring your incident response playbook. So, how do you tailor your playbook to your needs? First, understand your risk profile. What are the common threats in your industry? What is the size of your digital footprint? Second, identify your key assets and operations. What needs the most protection? Third, map out your response capabilities. What resources do you have? Lastly, integrate lessons learned from past incidents. Continual refinement and updating are crucial for a robust playbook. Remember, your playbook should be a living document, evolving with your organization and the ever-changing threat landscape. Conclusion, and there you have it, folks. We've journeyed together through the intricate world of incident response, exploring each phase from preparation to lessons learned. Our exploration wouldn't be complete without diving into practical applications, and we did just that with our phishing incident response playbook. It's all about taking the theory and strategies we've covered and applying them to real-world scenarios, because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. As we wrap up this video, remember that incident response isn't a one-and-done deal. It's a continuous cycle of learning and improving, and with each incident, there's an opportunity to refine your approach and strengthen your defenses. So, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, Blue Team Resources is always here to equip you with the knowledge and tools you need to stay ahead of the curve. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.